Hello, and very happy to see you on my channel. Tonight, we give you Richard Kay's devastating verdict on sensational Meghan and Harry's new royal book, Finding Freedom, Backfire Horribly. After all the sound and fury, at last the book itself delivered to my desk via the click of a computer mouse, as if the risk of handling it might be every bit as explosive as the bombshell revelations it was said to contain. How do we know this? Because the fact-driven authors say so themselves, claiming that Finding Freedom is the fruit of hundreds of hours of conversations and interviews with more than 100 sources. But after plowing through all 354 pages, many will be left wondering if those numbers are mere window dressing and that there are actually only two sources who mattered, Harry and Meghan themselves. Certainly, page after page drips with self-pity and indignation, sandwiched between dollops of oily sycophancy. This is not a spectacular coup of the kind that Andrew Morton dished up with his jaw-dropping 1992 account of the misery of the Princess of Wales and Diana, her true story. What we have here amounts to a monathon. What possessed the Sussexes, however tacitly, to support the authors of this book is utterly baffling. If they believe that the primary aim was to portray the real Harry and Meghan, a couple who claim they have been victims of inaccurate and mischievous reporting, and to promote their philanthropic and activist agendas, then they have been spectacularly let down. For what emerges over 24 chapters is a partial and one-sided account, a story of score settling and swipes at Harry's family, at the institution of monarchy, royal aids, and the media. And those admirable charitable endeavors? They are simply swamped by bitter recriminations. I fear it will backfire horribly on them, inviting both ridicule and scorn, with the only real winners being the authors cashing in on the hype it has created. There are some truly cringe-making moments. How on their romantic break to the African bush in Botswana, Harry was delightfully surprised by his then-girlfriend's down-to-earth attitude. Why so? Because while camping, she cleaned her face with baby wipes and happily wandered into the woodlands if she needed a bathroom break. We learned that Meghan FaceTimes from the bath, what she has for breakfast, and how she rolled her eyes when reading a tweet from US President Trump that said he would not pay their security bills. In the scheme of the major issues that the book purports to address, Harry's fractured relationship with his brother William, for example, does this trivia matter? Actually, yes. For not only does it fuel the suggestions that the couple either hand-fed these anecdotes, so precise and so private, to authors Omid Scobie and Caroline Durand themselves, or allowed others to do so on their behalf. It also invites the kind of intrusion they are so quick to deplore. The fact they have said nothing, beyond the routine denial that they had not been interviewed for the book, leaves readers to make up their own minds. Because for a couple so obsessive about their privacy, the book is all the more remarkable because it is, from start to finish, an extraordinary invasion of their own privacy. At the same time, it is laced with a special sense of grievance. This is a couple who can take offense from the set of someone's face at a public event to refusing to go to a wedding because a newspaper has speculated about Meghan's bottom. The wedding was that of Pippa Middleton, the Duchess of Cambridge's famously perky sister, and a newspaper had jokingly headlined its story, Meghan versus Pippa in the wedding of the Rears. That was a slight number one. Number two occurred at the Commonwealth Day service at Westminster Abbey when Meghan tried to make eye contact with her sister-in-law Kate, but the Duchess apparently barely acknowledged her. According to a friend, Meghan never wanted to set foot in anything royal ever again after that. There are countless more examples in this petty vein, not least the absence of their picture on the Queen's desk as she gave her 2019 Christmas message. They failed to grasp the significance of those photographs that were there. Charles, Camilla, the Cambridges, and their children, in other words, the direct heirs to the throne. Then there is a row that simmers menacingly throughout this home. It concerns William and snobbishness, or at least that's what the authors quote a source telling them. It apparently was triggered by William's brotherly nod to Harry to take all the time he needed to get to know this girl. I should say that the Harry I have known and written about for 35 years would never ever have used the word snobbish to describe William. But here it is set in tablets of stone that will haunt these once closest of brothers for years. Finding Freedom claims that the very future of the monarchy could be imperiled by the breach between William and Harry. It says that Harry felt royal aides pushed him under a bus in order to protect William by prioritizing his work over Harry's. This is, of course, all saturine wrapped as a fairy tale of a prince meeting the love of his life, with the absence of happy ever after always someone else's fault. Meghan herself is presented as a paragon. Who could resist her? Certainly not Harry, who in the 4 years since they met has gone from a fun-loving royal, the most popular member of the firm, to the angst-ridden woke prince of Los Angeles. It is likely the book will make particularly hurtful reading for the Queen. The grandmother Harry has said he adores if he indeed a copy finds its way to Balmoral, where she has just begun her summer break. And it will no doubt bring back painful memories of the Diana years which soured many a holiday on royal D-side. So will she read it? Says a lady-in-waiting firmly. She won't. That could be the wisest verdict on this whole sorry saga. Not only did Meghan get an angry response from this book, but she was also insulted for confirmation she will vote in the 2020 election, and quotes New Zealand suffragists to urge others to exercise their fundamental right. The 39-year-old mother of one, who was born in Los Angeles, spoke to Marie Claire about the importance of voting, and shared a poignant quote from New Zealand's most famous suffragist leader Kate Shepherd, revealing that both she and husband Prince Harry have referred to her words often for inspiration and guidance. Meghan said, "I know what it's like to have a voice, and I also know what it's like to feel voiceless. I also know that so many men and women have put their lives on the line for us to be heard." The former Suits star's decision to speak out about her political plans marks yet another major break from royal tradition for Meghan. Traditionally, members of the monarchy are expected to remain politically neutral, and therefore do not speak out about their opinions in public. She does not seem to understand that the great unifying strength, power, and value of the British monarchy that is above politics and any form of activism. So long as she is in any way attached to it, the expression of her activist views damaged it. It also infuriates its strongest supporters. Indeed, a fan so angrily said, "If she is once again breaking royal protocol, it would seem she's not bothered, and that the decisions relating to what happens at the end of the trial period are probably made, and she has nothing to lose. Maybe the end of HRH title, not just their usage. Voiceless? She hasn't stopped flapping. I suspect that this, over and above everything else, will be the straw that removes her titles. Why the announcement? Just vote and be quiet. Always looking for attention, this one." She then shared a quote from Shepherd, New Zealand's most outspoken suffragist leader, whom Meghan has previously quoted, explaining that is one of her favorites and one that my husband and I have referred to often. "Do not think your single vote does not matter much," the quote begins. "The rain that refreshes the parched ground is made up of single drops," Meghan concluded. "That is why I vote." However, a fan from Daily Mail wrote, "She has absolutely no idea what it is like to be voiceless in this world. What a stupid comment from someone who never shuts up. There are over 40 million slaves in this world, a world where every minute 23 girls are forced into marriage, some as young as 9 years old. Now, they are all voiceless. You've never been voiceless, you never shut up. Your opinion is not better than anyone. Uneducated in all areas that you seem to spout about with so much conviction. You couldn't try harder and even wrote that on a CV, hypocrite." And the last one said, "She certainly doesn't know what it's like to be voiceless. We've had her constant drivel shoved down our throats ever since the engagement interview when she came over loud and brash, constantly interrupting Harry. I knew from that interview she was going to be trouble. Harry has been totally eclipsed and muted by this brash, arrogant, and ambitious woman. She has turned him into an international laughingstock, no longer welcome in his own country, and herself into incessant and irritating background noise. They must realize that no one takes them seriously. And you? What do you think of this news? Please let me know in the comment section below, and we can talk about Meghan Markle. If you prefer my video, remember to like and share it for anyone you think might also be interested. And don't forget to subscribe to the Sussex Daily News channel to get more news from royal family members. Thank you for watching, goodbye, and see you in the next video.
Meghan is trying to untangle the dazzling rope between herself and Archie. Boy, very little seen. A force is in control of the game. Meghan is no different from a robot that does what others say. Archie gradually grows, and all the loneliness will gradually haunt the boy, so pitiful.